And I've renamed these. I used to call this just Shamanism Heals, but I've been working, if you know me at all, I've been working with dragon energies since 2017. When in April a dragon popped in and scared the bejeebers out of me and my horse that I was riding at the time. And since then my journey has moved from Reiki to Rouhani celestial energy healing into shamanism, and then the dragons have been coming in and asking me to do a lot of things, and I run a monthly call. I run the yearly Dragon Thunder, and we've got a couple of speakers coming on this Sunday to do the dragon talks. So I share about dragons a lot. I also practice Reiki on horses and humans. Prefer doing on horses because they're much more receptive and don't think about it too much. And I also practice a lot of shamanic healing. I do much of that online, so I've got clients all over the world, and of course do it in person. And normally if I'm doing it in person, I'm going to Glastonbury, because that's where all of those people that like the woo-woo stuff will accumulate, so it's easier to go there. And sometimes I have it at home, and the idea is during next spring is I'm going to try and figure out how to get a yurt in the 4 acres out there so that I can have some more healings during the summer and the spring and autumn when it's not too cold and too wet. So looking forward to that. But yeah, so what's Dragon Shamanism? Dragon Shamanism has sort of come in as a modality slowly with me. Over the years I've worked with the dragon guides, and the dragon guides have come in and they've popped in and they've assisted with certain healings. And I've sort of noticed that all of the dragons that have come in seem to concentrate a little bit on different areas. So a bit like if you became a medical doctor, when you first start you're a general practitioner, aren't you? And then suddenly you go, okay, well, I'm actually working on kidneys, and I want to work on hearts, and I want to work on the brain, I do the gallbladder, and they specialise. And I found at the beginning the dragons were sort of generally there, generally helping me, generally assisting, holding space, protecting me a lot of times from any of the dark energies that we were removing. And they were very good at assisting me with like psychopomp and taking energies that attach to people and taking them away, not destroying them, but taking them away to somewhere they would prefer to be, rather than living on a human or in a human. But then I started to notice that some of them were coming in that were not the ones I normally used. So I've got 3 main dragons I work with, and I realise they're sort of general practitioners. They're a bit like your sort of local doctor that you go to if you've got a cold, but you wouldn't go if you had a brain tumour, say. And what's happened recently is I've been running a course. We're in week 3, Zach's in it, and it's called Dragon Shamanism, and it's basically shamanism with a huge movement into dragons and using dragons to assist you. We're also going to use many other spirits that come in, because they do come in. But during this process we had a week off, and I was sitting and contemplating a bit more like about these practitioners, these dragons that specialized in particular areas. So I was sitting there thinking, when's one going to come in and say I specialize on this? So over the months and years that I've worked with the dragons, I say there was some dragon runes came in, the rainbow dragons came in, the cloud dragons come in, and each time they come in, they come in en masse, and I'm like, oh, careful, I'm a human, I can only deal with one of you at a time. And they slow down, and then they talk to me, and I get a feeling of what they look like. Sometimes they appear to me. So the other day I was going, okay, healer dragons, let's call you that, healer dragons, are you there? So I sat, I went on a shamanic journey. I go to the lower realms, I played my drum, I played my gongs, and I was just thinking, are you there? And suddenly it was like, it's like, you know, sometimes you hear a thundercloud, like, you know, what was that? I sort of heard that, and then I just felt, I was surrounded by a cacophony of dragons, and I was like, okay, okay, stop. Remember, I can only hear one of you at a time, even though you can all talk to each other at once, and their level of thinking and expansion is huge compared to ours. We're little people in this 3D. They're in whatever D, 9, 12, 15, whatever. So they stopped and went, okay, we're going to come in one by one. I was like, well, how many are you? And they're like, at the moment we're going to introduce you to 101. And I was like, Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was like expecting 4 or 5, 100, I was like, well, like Dalmatians, and they were like, yeah, we like a little laugh like that. So I was like, okay, fine. So I've started to talk to them, and I think I've contacted. I think I'm on my 16th. I did my 16th today, and so there's a lot more to go through. And they're coming in, and they said start sharing us now because we want people to realise that if they've got a specific issue, they can work with any dragon. That's fine. But in the same way that I say you go to a specific doctor for your brain tumor or your heart issues or whatever it is, then the dragons are saying we specialise in this area. It's like okay, I'm like what? I was like, well, think of every thing that you could have wrong with you. I was like, okay, so do you specialise specifically on one? And they're like, we do, but we can give you like 2, 3 areas that we would prefer to work in. But if you call us in, we will help you with like the other dragons with any area of healing. So they're coming in and they're telling me 2 or 3 areas that they will specifically work with. They're explaining to me their personality. They're explaining to me how they would like to be called in. Can you explain what color dragon does what? No, color of a dragon's got nothing to do with anything. That's like saying if I've got white skin, I'm exactly the same as every person with white skin. If I've got pink skin, or if I've got it means nothing. Really, it really means nothing. There is a small element of it, but people have been talking about the color of dragons and making it simplifying it far too much. Uh, yeah, I don't mean to be rude with that, but it's true. It's too simplified, I think.
Okay. No, I the reason I was asking is because being a Reiki master and working on people, I
Hmm.
thought let's say I was working on somebody's pancreas, for instance, and if I called in a dragon, is there a specific color dragon I should be calling in? And you're saying no, just call in a dragon.
Yeah, just I mean the colors of the dragons that are coming in are all different colors of the rainbow. And I'm not seeing any like oh the black dragons always do blah. It varies. Yeah, I think
Okay,
I think I
thanks.
think in the early days a lot of people were simplifying how dragons came in and it's like well if a black dragon comes in it means this and it's true it means that a little bit but it's too wide and that's what they're saying is they want to come in and realize that they're being more specific and yeah they're so yeah of
Yeah.
the dragons that are coming in for me color means nothing it's more their personality and they're talking about their personality. They're like I like this I don't like this if you want to call me in then please light a candle or if you're calling me in go and sit under an oak tree or if you're calling me in and they're sort of saying to get yourself into the energy that you can really truly tap into me. I prefer if you can do these things. And they're also
Okay.
saying doesn't matter. You can just call us in anyway. A bit like if you phone up your doctor and speak to them, sort of you get a general feel they're like, oh yeah, take some paracetamol. You can get that. But if it's like you've got a blocked heart chakra, for example, then there's probably a dragon that's going to come through and go, I clear chakras. That's what I do. I'm really good at it. I've been studying it for 5 million years, so I'm good at it. That sort of
Oh, okay.
thing. So
Okay.
that's what they and I'm still early in the process. I only sort of listed 16 of them properly, so I'm sort of starting to see a bit of a pattern, but it's not fully there. But they've said share us now, get people interested in it, and of course as soon as I've got them all together, I'll put it in a book. It'll be out there. I've also started a group called
Oh, good.
Dragon Shamanism on Facebook, and you know me, I'm happy to share everything, and I'm going to share it there. As they come through, we'll do it. But I've got 3 examples for you today, and we're
Thank you.
going to do an actual meeting of one of the dragons. Again, I've not done it as a group, so this is the first time, so we'll see if it works. But you'll get to see what I'm seeing. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay,
Just pull.
thanks. Thanks, Kevin. That's great. Thank you.
That's all right. Laurent says, just call the ones in that specialise in that area of healing. Yeah, exactly. And you can just call them in without knowing who they are. But if you know them, a bit like if you knew who the best heart doctor was in the US, then you'd probably go to that one rather than just say, I'm after a heart doctor. But you can say, I'm after a dragon that's going to specialise in this, and they'll come in. But if you know who they are specifically, you can call them specifically. And that's what I'm finding. The dragons are coming in saying, spread who we are, make us more than just the green dragons or the earth dragons. Make us understood as we are that type of dragon, and this is what we can do. So they're just trying to almost normalize that they're there. That's what I get. They want magic and dragons to be what we all talk about. So if somebody says, oh, God, my heart chakra feels a bit, or they just say, oh, I've got pain in my heart, and you think, oh, that's maybe their heart chakra needs cleansing, you'll then go, okay, that one. Oh, those three specialise. Oh, I worked with that dragon before. I'm calling in that one, right? I'm calling in, yeah. And there'll be like an index. And I say 101 is who's come in now. And I always find that that's it's just them opening the door. So there's probably thousands of them in the same way that there's thousands of different types of doctor. But we'll see. Anyway, so I'll just open some slides. So you're not just staring at me. That's me looking very relaxed after 19 days in Peru. I came back about 2 and a bit months ago, so I'm not quite so relaxed now because I moved house. But yeah, if you ever get to go to Peru, it's amazing. Went to Cusco, Machu Picchu, Lake Titicaca. When I crossed this plain that's at nearly 2.5 miles high, there's no reception there for phones or Wi-Fi, and it was, when you hear a silence but you can feel the silence, you're not being bombarded by 5G, 4G, 3G radio waves. It was amazing, and I got quite a few messages from the dragons there, which I'm actually going to be sharing a bit more about that tomorrow, but I'll put some links in. Just move that out of the way. The dragons, when they first came into me and started asking me to share who they were, I asked a bit more about, well, who are they? And they said to me that they're source beings of pure light. They said they've always been. They are not limited by our earth time paradox, they call it. They do exist in the same way, but they live in different realities and roam all the dimensions. And I won't read all this through, but when they said all of this to me, it made me realise more who they were, and it got me away from dragons being those things that live in caves and steal gold. And it was the beginning of me shifting more to the fact that in many ways, if you want to compare them and you've not met dragons before, that in many ways they're like angels, archangels, goddesses and gods. They're more at that level, and we've got in our minds, many of us, that they are just gold hoarding cave living beings, and that's not true at all. They're multi-dimensional beings, and they come into this reality to assist us. Yeah. So Dragon Shamanism, as I sort of was basically briefly saying, it's got its roots in me meeting the spirit guides called dragons, me working with shamanism, and then literally us working together in healings. And I've created Dragon Shamanism just so that people can see that it's different to normal shamanism, in the same way that people have got Reiki and they've got Dragon Reiki. So I've created this modality. It's not something that's unique to me. I know many other people that work with dragons and healing and shamanism. So, and the dragons have said to me that they're our allies in energetic healing. And as I say, at the moment, 101 dragons have currently come in, and that's just the beginning. And I'm not saying I'm the only one that's going to meet the healer dragons. If you go on a journey and you specifically want to call in a healer dragon, you will definitely meet maybe one of the 101s, but you may meet one of the other thousands that are out there. So I'm not saying I own all of the knowledge. I'm just saying that I've started to understand the knowledge. They're talking to me. I'm collating it, and I'm just want to say to you guys out there, there are healer dragons that specifically work on certain parts. So if you're doing a healing for yourself or someone else, and you want a powerful healer to come in, then call on the healer dragons. And if it's one of the 101s that I'm going to be listing, then great. And I suspect more will come in over time, so I'll be listing more and more. But yeah, don't limit yourself to saying, oh, it must be one of the ones that Kevin's talking about. I'm just saying that I'm opening the door to all of them. Out of the way. That's what I'm looking at. So here's an example of one of the dragons. When they've come in, they've come in and they've said to me, my healing abilities. So this dragon, who I've started to phonetically ask how you say their name, and before we go down the route of names, the names that they're giving us are like their pet names. It's not their power name. So some people get very funny about dragon names, and I understand that, but I don't think any of us could truly understand a full dragon name. It's multi-dimensional, and that holds a lot of power. These are like, if you've got a horse, you have like their breed name. Like my horse is Fortune's favourite, but her stable name is Fave or Favour. This is like the stable name for the dragon, just so that you can connect with them. It's not their power name. So this one's called Aurora. She's got the healing abilities of light body activation, clearing ancestral trauma. Everyone's got that. And energizing the spirit. And she comes in and she explained her personality. She explained what her appearance is, and I've gone and used AI to then create an image. So I've not seen each of these dragons. A lot of it is just coming into my head, into my mind as words as I'm typing it. She said they say how they like to connect with people, how they connect with people, how it might feel if you're a healer that they're coming in. She also says how the healers can call her in. So in this one, she's saying light a gold or white candle, and to basically sit in that energy. I also said to them, is there something we can say to truly bring in the intention? Because in shamanism, the intention is everything. It's, you know, when you hold that intention. So you say, yeah, I want to meet the healer dragon or Areth. The reason is that I've got some ancestral clearing trauma to clear with my client or for myself, and then you can use that incantation. Again, I'm not saying you have to use that one. That's just one I've made up. If there's something, if you like to sing, if you like to drum, if you like to do something, just building up the energy, the intention, so that you're creating a portal so that dragon can come in and assist you or assist in the healing. And this is the sort of layout that I've started to create. I suspect they might give me more information, and I'll share that as well. But that's sort of how it's coming at the moment, like their name, their abilities, their personality, their appearance, how to connect with them, how healers can call them in, and then just some sort of incantation. And there's another one. He's talking about restoring. I say he or she, but when I say he or she, I'm thinking less about their sexuality, but more about their energy. So when they're coming in, I'm feeling like either a really strong feminine energy or a very strong masculine energy. So I've sometimes said he or she, and other times I've described them as them, because I'm actually not sure, because their energy feels so both. And I think sometimes dragons can be both. I'm really not quite sure there. So when I say he or she, just take that as like me just saying that, rather than it being that's the man, that's a woman dragon. So yeah, and this one's about restoring hope and faith, healing spiritual disconnection, empowering the soul's journey. So you can see that they're drilling in more deeply into the specifics. And if you've got a client you're working on and you think, oh, their spirit's disconnected, they maybe they need soul retrieval or something, then you might be thinking about calling this one in. And again, there's the incantation that you can say, and again, it's just me sharing something. This isn't necessarily something that they've told me to say. I've just been thinking, okay, what would I say to bring them in, just to get that intention strongly. And some of the pictures that are coming through based on them describing themselves, I'm like, wow. I mean, the power of AI nowadays, some people love it, some people hate it. For art, I think it's quite amazing, and it certainly speeds up the process, because I'm truly not a very good artist. And what they're all saying to me, and this dragon on here is one of the dragons that's come in as well. They're saying that think of them as allies in healing. So it's not a case of, if you are a healer or you're looking for healing, you're not giving up your sovereignty. You are still in charge. If you're doing the healing, you're still the person that's holding the hollow space and all this. They're there as allies to assist you. If it gets extremely difficult and beyond your energy and your powers, they're there to help. And the more you work with them, the more you'll realize how you should work with them. So far, when I've worked with them, they're not like the main surgeon in the surgery. They're there sort of helping and saying, well, this would help, that would help. Let me put some energy through with you so you can help the person. And I haven't used them a huge amount yet at all. I've been using them more myself. So yeah, the other 99 that have come in, I'm going to start listing their abilities, personality, their appearance, and all the things that I've just been showing you. And once all the information is together, the speed I'm going at the moment, if I can keep up the speed, then I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the book out, before Christmas. As with all my books, I'm not creating it to make loads of money. I normally just do it so it covers my cost and I make 50 cents or something. That's not about the money. It's about sharing the information, sharing the energy, and getting people interested in it. Right. So this dragon here, called Lavindra, she's about aura cleansing, enhancing self-worth, releasing guilt and shame. And I said, what would be a good dragon for us today as a group to connect with? And I say I've only been doing this individually, so I'm not sure how well this will work. But let's all try and connect with this beautiful dragon. So the first thing for you to be doing for yourself is to decide what healing you want. So she does aura cleansing, which is a beautiful one. I mean, I clear my auras twice a day anyway, because when I'm doing healing, sometimes something tries to attach to me. Maybe you've got some self-worth issues. Maybe you've got some guilt and shame you want to release. So have a think about one of those specifically, or all three if you want to, and hold that in your heart, that when we go to meet her, that's what she's going to heal in you. Yeah. So she says she's deeply nurturing, maternal. She's all about unconditional love and acceptance. So whatever you're coming with, whatever that guilt and shame is, she's not judging you at all, which I think is just beautiful. And that's the beautiful thing about, I think, using the dragons in the healing, is that as a human healer, sometimes we do hold a bit of judgment of the people, and we shouldn't, but we do. But we can say, okay, the dragon's coming in, she's holding extra space for us, which is beautiful. And all of these slides will be available. So Tanya taking a picture, but all of the slides will be available for you. I'll share them out to everyone, so you'll be able to have access to these. And then I'll also be sharing on Facebook that format like this of each one as they arrive. Yeah, so she says she offers gentle encouragement, is warmth and soft and enveloping. So you can just imagine that if you're sitting in your guilt and she comes in and she's like, don't worry, it's just, it happens, she's holding you. To feel that, if that's where you're going to go. She talks about her appearance, and I think the picture just sums it up gorgeously. I mean, that's just a friendly dragon that has unconditional love here. So it says she connects with people when she arrives during times of self-doubt or emotional heaviness. You as the person receiving or the person sharing her might feel a presence of warm, embracing sensations as if bathed in sunlight. So you can almost imagine that when she arrives, you are bathed in sunlight. And the more you can get into the feeling, the more I think it's easier for them to connect with you, and it's easier for them to send you that healing energy. So it says her energy encourages quiet reflection, helps you release negative patterns, and see your innate worth. I think often we're the ones that beat ourselves up the most. So when she comes in, I'm sure afterwards we're all going to feel fully loved, and it's going to be wonderful. So it says healers can help call her in by lighting a white or gold candle. So I've got the white candle for all of you. If you've got a white candle and you want to light one, then please do. It says also imagine a radiant light expanding from your heart. So when we go to meet her, just imagine a radiant light from your heart. And you can almost imagine that if you're doing an aura cleansing, that expanding around your whole body. If you're making, so you're ensuring you've got self-worth, again, you can imagine that clearing away any of those thoughts that I'm not good enough, no one's going to listen to me, all those sort of things. Or if there's some guilt or shame about something you did once or should have done or whatever it is, you can just imagine that radiant light, again, always expanding from the heart and clearing. This also says holding crystals, and each of them have got a little connection to crystals. And I know there's one lady that shares about the dragons of the crystals, and I think there's certainly a symbiosis there between dragons and crystals. So you could hold some selenite or clear quartz. I've got some clear quartz behind me, quite a few of them. So I'm imagining that if you haven't got one in your hand, that you're borrowing the energy of mine. And again, this is just about amplifying the connection, so you get a strong connection. And it also says you can speak words of affirmation or self-love. So if you haven't got self-worth or you're removing guilt, then you might want to say those to yourself. And in case you haven't got any, here's some I prepared earlier, like Blue Peter fashion. So you could say to yourself, I am worthy of healing. She wraps her wings around me with loving energy. I embrace my inner glow. Healing flows through me. Any of those, or anything else that is affirming or self-love. I love myself. Okay, my hair's a mess today, but it doesn't matter. Or whatever, whatever it is that calls to you. And then what we can do, I just want us to, because often when I do these things, I go on shamanic journeys. They're saying to me, that can be too complicated, playing the drum and doing this and doing that. They want to simplify it so it's easier for you to call them in. So literally in this case, it is us lighting the candle, which I've got, having the crystals near us, and then the intention is the important bit. So why do you want to call this dragon in? Is it for aura cleansing, enhancing self-worth, releasing guilt and shame, 1, 2, all 3? And then have those words of affirmation in your heart. And all we need to do is between us is just sit with our eyes closed and just relax. So I'll do that in a moment. So I'll call her in. Imagine she's coming into all of us. So Lavindra, dragon of radiant glow, cleanse my aura, let my self-worth grow. Release the burdens of guilt and shame. Restore my soul, I call your name. But just imagine her coming into you, however that feels. Feel the energy surrounding you, the love, non-judgment. Just be with it. Let's be with her for like 5 minutes. Okay, slowly come back. If you manage to connect with this beautiful dragon, Lavindra, just thank her for coming in. If you didn't, don't worry. Come on another time. Beautiful. Have a nice stretch once you come back. Come back into your body in case you went anywhere. Oh, it's good to have a little drink as well. Well, I felt something. I don't know whether it expanded to everyone else or not. I was trying to sort of imagine that it did. If anyone wants to share if they felt anything, then great. If you don't, that's also good. Would anyone want to share anything? Yeah, Janine?
Yeah, they felt like coming in quite gently, and just sort of standing there, just kind of looking at me, and she's like, "You've got a lot of clearance you need done." I'm like, "Really?" Well, there is a few issues, yeah, and so she uh, she brought forward a lot of crystals, and these were just she was rolling up this kind of blanket, and it was all I'm saying, what's she doing? I'm asking for healing and connection, and I'm seeing her rolling up this blanket. So there was like all these crystals came, and then she just poured them right under my feet and right around my body. So they just started to work right away. And there was quite an attunement actually from them in their own. Um, and then I just had a wee chat with her. So, yeah, prepare her for the work ahead.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're almost welcome. I'm glad that you met her, and I love that she came with a blanket full of crystals.
Yeah, nice one.
Cool. Were they all a certain type of crystal, or were they different types? Did you notice?
It's a different shape crystal I've never seen before. It looked like a kind of Lemurian, double-ended Lemurian crystal, which I've never seen before. And it had like prisms and different colours coming from it. So it looked like a kind of Lemurian quartz, but it had different as facets to it.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's quite amazing what comes in, and you see things you've never seen before, and that affirms more that what's happening is real, which is
That's
beautiful.
it, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I always find if you can if you're able to draw that, even if it's roughly, I sometimes if I see things I'll draw it, and then like 2 or 3 years later I'm like, oh, I'll see something in reality. I'm like, oh, I've seen that before. Yeah, look, it's got the same shape that I had, and or yeah, somebody wearing a t-shirt and it's got that prism shape or something. I bought one recently.
When the crystals went in, there was a lot of eyeball flickering, and it
Yeah,
went on for a while. So that was my kind of confirmation of here's a major attunement happening here. So
mm,
you can't stop it. It's involuntary. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
cool. And
yeah,
and we not to say normally I would do this as part of a journey, go on a journey somewhere, play the drum, blah blah blah. Do you feel that the energy of the dragons coming in is you don't need all that paraphernalia? Were you happy to be sitting in silence, connecting with the dragon, or would
yeah,
it?
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'll take it all if you've got it going. I like the drum as well, but yeah, but that's good because there's the lead in right away. Keep it simple,
yeah,
invitation, and then just trust what you receive.
yeah. Cool.
Like if you want it kind of palmed up a wee bit, get that nice drum on the go.
Yeah. Well, some of the ones that have come in have said that they like a bit of drumming, or they like a bit of music, or they like the gongs or something. So some of them are a bit more musical. That one was more just sitting in silence, cuddling you, assisting you, clearing your auras and removing, releasing the shame and bringing in your self-worth, which I thought was beautiful. It's quite those three together, sort of almost they make sense, don't they? So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you very much. Anyone else? No pressure, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's all good. I'll give it 10 seconds of silence, then I'll continue. Beautiful. I've got some more slides. I can't remember what I put together now. What did I put together? Let's share them and we'll have a look. Ah yes, some actions for you if you're interested in learning some more about it as it comes out, as I get to share it. So there's the Facebook group called Dragon Shamanism, which I've only really created recently, and I'll start sharing the images of the dragons and the information that I've got there, so it comes together, and then eventually I'll put all that into a book which I'll self-publish on Amazon. And I'll also probably create some, I call them wisdom cards, so that you've actually got a picture of the dragon on the back. It has a short description and a bit of information, just so, because some people like to maybe pull a card and go, oh, actually that makes sense, I should be working with that dragon today. And if you've got that intention, that's really good. I use lots of other cards for that. If you're interested in hiring me, I'm always available, and we can go on a one-to-one session and call in whatever healer dragon we need to. I'm also running the Dragon Shamanism course. We did start 3 weeks ago, but it's still open, still not too late to join it if you want to. I mean, that is a year-long course, deep dive into shamanism with dragons, and then as and when all these 101 dragons are coming, and we'll be connecting with them a lot more. And I'll be sharing all these links with you. And then anyone that's not heard of the dragon eggs, there's a group on Facebook called Dragon Eggs, and we're very close to hatching hundreds of small dragons. When I was on a journey recently to Italy, I picked up a whole bunch of dragons eggs, and yeah, there's a whole connection there. So if you're interested in hatching your own dragon, maybe it's a healer dragon that's going to be hatched, we're interested to see. Again, all these links, I'll send them out to you. That's just all the books I've written on dragons. I think I'm in the 30s now, so the dragons have come in and got me to do a lot of work for them, and I just love doing it, and I'll be showing all those. There's me in Peru, just to prove I was there. It's not photoshopped. That was a beautiful one. And if you do need me for any sessions, then if you use that link, I'm £123 a session. I say up to an hour, but if it takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours. It's whatever we need to do to assist you. And then there's me again, looking very tired, walking up in Peru. And I mean, not far from Dartmoor in Devon. I'm actually in Ashwelton now. I've moved. Let me stop the share. I've got some links here that I can put in the chat for you. So, as I say, tomorrow I'm going to be talking with Denise Chadwick, and we're going to be talking, one other speakers are going to be talking about dragons, and I'm going to be talking about Peru and dragons, and someone's going to be talking about what are they going to be talking about? They're what was now? It's gone. Where is it? Unicorns, that's the one. I'm going to be talking about unicorns, so if you're interested in unicorns. And then this Sunday, December the 1st, the countdown to Christmas, we've got 2 beautiful speakers talking on Dragon Talks, and you can register for that at dragontalks.info. It's all free. I just literally hold the space, and the people come along, they share their wisdom about dragons, and which is beautiful because I get to learn so much more as well each time. We've got 30 live speakers booked in now for the 13th of July for the Dragon Thunder 2025. So I'll start sharing about that as well. So you'll be sick of dragons by the end of it, or you'll be in love with them like I am. Cool. I think we've done very good time. So I didn't run away with me. Sometimes it runs away with me. If there's any questions, you can ask now. If not, then contact me on Facebook or Instagram or through my website, which is EnglishMystic.com. And I won't be doing one of these because it will be Christmas Day, the next one. So they start again in January and we'll run all the way through the year. If anyone's got anything particularly they want to know about shamanism or dragons, then send me a message, because otherwise I'll be sitting down and going, well, I really want to share this, but you might not be interested in that. So if there's something particularly you want to hear about, I really want to understand that about dragons, or that about shamanism, why do you do this, why does that happen, any sort of questions, it will just spark something in me to go, oh, that's a good topic we can talk about. I can include your question in that and make sure you get the answers. If not, I'll just carry on making up what I think you want to hear and go from there. Any questions tonight? No? Well, do connect to your healer dragons. Do join the Facebook group, and I'll be sharing as many of the ones that have come through as I can. What I'm doing is, as they come through, I'm going on a journey like we just did to verify that what I've got actually makes sense, and think, oh, that's not quite how they came through, and verifying it, which is quite good fun. So I'm going on a lot of journeys and getting a lot of my auras cleansed and my past lives sorted out. So I'm feeling quite good. But I'll post those in there, and you guys can use them as well. Cool. Well, it's beautiful to see you all. The recording will be shared tomorrow at some point, so it's there if you want to remember some of the bits and pieces. So beautiful to see you all. Have the amazing rest of your days. If you're in America or Canada, wherever you do the celebration tomorrow, enjoy that. And if I don't see you all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you in 2025. God, 2025 already. It's scary, isn't it? And it feels like it was 2000. Whew. Well, good to see you all. See you all next time. Well, there you go. Bye.